Welcome to another 10 at 10 for 10 training and leadership development. I've got something very special today. I'm going to be doing an interview of a couple of our newest members, and I want to introduce them to you, and we're going to learn all about them. So today I'm going to be playing the role of the interviewer, and I think you guys will get a lot of training as a result of listening to um, these new members, where they're coming from, and I think their stories are inspirational. Okay, so let me change the view here to speaker. All right, and Kevin, would you mind turning on your camera?
Yes, sir. Let me get that on here.
Okay,
Say hello to everybody.
all
Hello,
right.
everyone.
We are live. This is being recorded. It's going to end up on YouTube. So Kevin, maybe some people know who you are, maybe they don't, but you've earned some fame along the way, right? And you're in Texas, right?
I am in Dallas, Texas. Yes, sir.
In Dallas, Texas. But before we talk about your fame, I'd love to hear the story before you became famous. Okay, tell me, did you grow up in an affluent family, or what? How did you grow up? You grew up in Texas?
I did. I would say, fortunately and unfortunately, I did not grow up in an affluent family. I actually grew up in a little town outside of Waco, Texas. It's called Marlin, Texas. So probably about 3,000 people. That includes the inmates. They count all that
Oh, they
in the
count that in the in,
population.
in the number.
They do. They
Wow.
do.
Okay. And what
And
about what
I'll
about
use
your mom and
Marlin.
dad? What was your mom and dad's? What did they do for a living?
Um, so never really, like a lot of other people, never really had a dad in my life, but I was
Uh-huh.
blessed enough to be raised by both of my grandmothers,
Okay.
and so those women were very wise, sowed a bunch of seeds into me, and then my mom was there for a little while until she unfortunately got in some trouble and had to spend a little time away from me and my two brothers, and so my grandmothers raised us. Now, I mentioned Marlin just because where we're really from is about 30 miles down the road called Reagan, Texas. But I grew up, there was 11 of us in a two-bedroom house, no running water. We had an outhouse, and I'm not that old, by the way.
Yeah.
But, um, it was never a crutch for me or anything like that. Um, I still say that my grandmother's always sold into us. I don't care if we was digging ditches, just be the best at that. So
Mhm.
I was fortunate in the way that I came up that I believe that it gave me the passion and desire to always just want, and strive for more out of life. But that's where I grew up. Um,
Okay.
I always say that the first time that I had to reinvent myself, I had a son early in high school. Um, Never first person in my family to go to college. So I went to a junior college. Someone told me, "Hey, we'll pay for school if you run around and hit people with your head and body." Thought it was a fair trade for
Uh-huh.
me because I couldn't afford to go to school anyway. So I did that. That was the first time I had to reinvent myself and just learn how to be a part of a different environment. Didn't know what I didn't know. Didn't have a way home. Had to stay down there on holidays. But again, went down and worked my butt off, and I was able to transfer to a larger university. So I went from not even having as the old people say, a pot to piss in or one to throw it out, to now I was at a bigger university with the opportunity of getting drafted in the NFL. And so tables were turning a lot for me. Was able to try out for the Cowboys, which is how I ended up in Dallas. Ended up being on the practice team. Second time I had to reinvent myself. But again, made a little money. Nobody taught me about money. I didn't have that education like a lot of us. So whatever little money I had, I lost it. And so again, just spend it trying to do things that I had no idea how to do. So second time I had to reinvent myself and get out in the working in space. But I was lucky and blessed. I had the opportunity to work for a bunch of influential people like Mark Cuban when he was at broadcast.com, for Dennis Cruz at MCI WorldCom. Um, I had the opportunity to soak up and learn from those guys. So when I was dangerous enough, I wanted to get out and do my own thing. And I'd always learned, again, if you're gonna, do something, you want to do something that, there's always a need and desire for. So for me, uh, that thing was understanding how to do taxes and financials, because I was in the working world making a lot of money, and I just always see this thing called FICA and Medicare and everything come out of my check, and I used to be like, "Who the hell is FICA?" And why am I paying them any money? And it just didn't make any sense to me. And again, around those people that are around, I was looking at those individuals, and they were living a lifestyle that I wanted to live. Looking at your Cubans um, and your Dennis Cruz. But what I learned from them easily was again that there's a couple of ways that wealth works in this world. And one is, of course, you have your earned income, which is what I was making, right? It was just me going to work. If I didn't go to work, I didn't earn. And then two, you had to have some leveraged income. And that's what they had. They had businesses, they had investments, they had things that where their money was working and they weren't spending as much time doing it. And then obviously that third way was having that residual income. And looking at those things, I said, you know what, that's what I need to build for myself. And so about 2000, maybe 9 or so like that, I went out, I raised some capital, started my first business. First time I made $1 million+ dollars. I didn't know what I didn't know about contracts at that time, kind of got screwed, but I was smarter now. So I started it again, rebuilt it. Now, as of today, we have about 5,000 or so, what you can call as franchisees that are doing virtual tax accounting, bookkeeping, using our software, and about 50,000 or so independent contractors that work within that community. And we prepare and do about 500,000 or so customers, small business customers, individuals on a yearly basis. And
Wow.
so I can tell you that, it's been a blessing, learned a lot, had the opportunity at ACE, of course, to meet you through Corey. I've been working with Corey for a while. And it was so refreshing today talking to you and just hearing your message when we talk, because it's so in line with both of our same vision and mission. And for me, that's always been to be able to help as many people as possible. Not about the money. We can all make that. We all make it. But to be able to change people's lives and transform their lives, and then be in a position where we can all transfer that knowledge to someone else.
Yeah,
That's
we
what's
use the
important to
word
me.
transform, but earlier using the word reinventing, right? So
Right.
how many times do you feel like you reinvented yourself? Like 50 times? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a nonstop for me. It's just a nonstop process.
that's right. So
Yeah,
transformation ongoing, right?
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so,
and that's a good message in itself, right? That people should open themselves up for transformation. What do you think?
absolutely, I agree. Absolutely, they definitely should. I mean, obviously, if we want to stay ahead of the curve, and not let whether that be inflation or anything outpace us, you always got to be willing to, transform yourself. Willing to seek that knowledge, willing to go out and try things. Obviously, we all have a risk factor on what we are willing to do, but I like to gamble and bet on myself, right?
Mhm.
And so that's something that I don't have a challenge with doing, is betting on myself and gambling on myself, and being a part of the community of like-minded people like what we have here and what we're building. Just makes that even easier. It makes that momentum factor. I'm a sports guy, so I know when you have momentum on your side, when it's 4th and 10, or you're looking at your peers, the person next to you, and you're like, hey, let's go, let's push it, let's stop them, let's go. I like that. That's what drives me every morning, when I can get up and know that I have a responsibility to, someone or something bigger than myself. And that's what I feel like being a part of this group is. I want to make this work for everybody. It will work for everybody. I think if we all take that synergy and that energy and do that, and just look at how many people's lives we can change. I mean, it just makes doing what we do and inviting other people and telling them the story about this. It just makes it, it makes it feel even better for me.
Back when you were with the Cowboys, did you on your check, did it have FICA on that check?
Yeah, It had a whole bunch of things on there. Jerry Jones was paying it and taking it right back. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff
So,
on there.
and pretty big numbers going to FICA. Like, okay, who's FICA?
Right,
Right?
right.
Spika.
Yeah. And so for me, I wanted to learn how to not necessarily manipulate that, but obviously as small business owners, we want to minimize, our exposure and how much taxes we're paying,
Exactly.
to the government. I mean, your biggest expense, guys, that you always have, you always hear more money, more problems. Well, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. And so that will always be your biggest expense on your line items of expenses. So you can find out how to cut that, minimize that. That just puts more money back in your pocket so that you can reinvest that into yourself or your community.
Right. And the way the system's designed, it's designed to, they call it a progressive system, right? So the idea is
Yes,
that if there's ways that you can contribute back to society, then you're given advantages of paying less taxes, right? So they have ways of doing that, right? So
right.
and you're in that's what you're helping people with your company now is doing taxes the right way and taking advantage of whatever is available being offered, right? People don't miss an
Correct.
offer, right?
Yeah. And like you mentioned, we're using artificial intelligence to expedite that learning curve.
Mhm.
And to, quite honestly, to find things that the human eye or human error would miss with it. So we don't have to be afraid of artificial intelligence, so to speak. We just gotta how to know how to work with it and manipulate it. It's here. It's not going anywhere. So I think,
Yeah, when it
understanding
comes
that.
to taxes, I heard that there's so many code, there's so much code in the tax code that if you put the code itself in a room, it wouldn't be a book, right? It would actually consume the entire room. Every square inch of the room would be filled with paper with all the different everything embedded in, here's an offer, oh, you got to pay this way,
Yep.
all that, right?
Yeah, it's like
And,
70 million words. It's like
and
reading War and Peace.
yeah, and like, well, no, that's the summary, the 70, that, but
Right.
you really dig into the whole code. I heard you fill a room with it, and because there's just so much, and there's more than really what a human can really consume. Obviously, AI is the answer, so you're tapping into a
Right.
good thing there. So
Right.
AI could discover things that maybe a human would overlook.
Yeah.
Because yeah, minimize taxation is always a good idea when it comes to wealth creation. So, and is Ash here or she? I don't know if she made it or not. If she is, she can unmute. Tell us a little bit about Ash
Let's see. Well,
or Ashley. We
gosh,
call her Ashley. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So for her, much like she's one of the first individuals that I had the opportunity to bring on for her to own her own business. When I met her, she was a single mom, working 3 or 4 jobs, whatever she could to be able to take care of her daughter at the time. And I always tell this story, so there's nothing for her to be embarrassed about. But she, when she started training and want to learn how to do this, she was at the same time behind on her rent, a couple of bills, and I said, "Hey, look, um, I'm going to take a gamble and invest in you. So there's no matter of fact, I'm even write you a check before it's time for you to get paid with it."
Wow.
And from there, and that was, I want to say 10, 15 years ago. She's made several millions of dollars, has mentored to hundreds of people and had the opportunity to change their life. Is an absolute student of the business and how wealth is created. And we started this fundable mission about 3 years ago. And the idea was, again, how can we just reach more people, help more people, realizing that, as I mentioned to you earlier, by 2027, the majority of the world, the workforce, will be self-employed, right? These are individuals that will need help. And one of the biggest ways that they're going to need help is funding, because that's the primary reason why most businesses don't make it. And the traditional model is broken in terms of how people get funding. And
Why is it broken? Break that down.
right, well, it's broken just like we talked about in the video, right? Um,
Mhm.
The second thing is because of the, the modern way of generating wealth, we got to work for 40 years, 40 hours a week just to retire on 40% of what you can't afford to live off anyway. That system is broken. That's a big lie. It doesn't work the way that they told us it's supposed to work. And so people need to understand the new ways of generating wealth. And from our perspective, it's a little bit of education, a lot of introducing them to the tools, the concepts, and then the other part is the community, right? What we get from being around a group of like-minded people and watching other people be successful in doing it is just so huge in what we've seen. And that's the big thing for us. And so, doing things like that, having opportunities like that, being a part of a group and having access, right? That's the other thing, the access to these technologies that don't cost an arm and a leg, right? To do. We're helping people by simply, hey, if you want to get out and start your own business, hey, we can show you how to change the withholdings, transfer from a W-4 to self-employed, take that money, right, that you would save, because guess what? You're overpaying the government anyway. You're putting money in the government savings account, and they're not even giving you any interest on it.
That's true.
Why not put it into something where you're going to earn some money into it? So something as simple as that will put that money back in to your pocket. You can invest it in a fund like this and fund your business. But again, that's just a knowledge thing that people just don't know that they can do.
Yeah.
They're so geared. I always tell people my life is a lot better that I have to pay the government than what it was when I was getting a refund. And
Right.
so we're so conditioned to think that that's an important thing. And I understand it's a part of most people fixed income, but it's just education, showing them how to do it, and then giving them access to the tools and being a part of a community where other people are doing the same thing, and they see the success that works.
Now I think you're on day 2 of onboarding, so you got one more day to onboard, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And so, what sold you on pool funding? What were the characteristics that, like, I like that, I like that, I like that? What you're very new, but what
Right.
was it that got you excited about pool funding?
Well, for me, I understand the concept of velocity, funding and how that money moves, and how that whole pool funding works. So that's number one, just having the knowledge. The second part is I've been looking for a way to introduce to my clients a way to create funding for their business without having to pay that back, right? Without having to pay that back, without having to leverage their credit. There's so many barriers to entry in terms of get funding that, if you had some hiccups in your past, you got a DUI, you had a mistake like this, credit, you don't have the education, all those things stop your ability to be able to get traditional funding, right? But this is a way for you to do it without having those barriers of entry to doing it. And that opens up a huge highway and spectrum to people to be able to participate in this wealth generating economy that traditional funding and the traditional methods just don't do. They don't allow for it.
So the offer we're putting out there is, we can give you funding you don't have to pay back, but we'd like you to bring more people to our community. So there's an exchange happening there, because it's not the
Right.
operating budget, the $200 or $300 operating, but that's not the benefit. It's not like you're going to invest in us and somehow that makes a difference for us. It's the people, the value of those people, just two
Yep.
or three, 2 or 3 or 4 of those, and that person can bring enough value to our community that they're valuable. For you, was that something that stopped you, like, oh, I got to bring people into this, or was it something that inspired you?
No, it was something that inspired me. I mean, let's just all be honest, right? When something is good and is working good, don't we traditionally tell other people? So what's wrong with that? I'm not selling
Exactly.
you on anything. I'm being a product of the product myself,
That's
you
it.
know, and and so I can show you what I'm doing, but I mean, traditionally it's a natural human instinct to, when something is good, you tell someone else about it. And so that's just all we're doing. Again, I don't have to sell you. I don't have to, either it works for you or you don't. Either you're in a situation where you need to raise some capital or you don't. What I can tell you is that the majority of the people do in the world do. And so you may run across a few people that, nah, it's not for me. It's, I had some bad situations. This happened in the past.
Uh,
Um, the difference between, um, broke people and wealthy people, let me just say that, is broke people are looking for a guarantee. Wealthy people are looking for an opportunity.
yeah.
And that's what I think the difference is. When you're talking about wealth, you're looking for an opportunity, right? $300, it's money is money. But there's ways, whether you stop eating out for a week or two or whatever, it is not a huge operating budget for you to start your business and allow that to grow. So it's just a matter. I mean, anything else we want to do in life, we find a way to do it. And so, you
And
know, that's how I
can you
look
give
at
us
it.
can you give us some final words on the idea of vision? Right now we have a $10 pool and we're all kind of anxious for that extra zero. We all want to be in the $100 pool right now, but we're not ready for it yet. We're close. We need about 100
Right,
people that are ready. We don't have 100 people yet that are ready, but I think teaming up with you, we'll have 100 pretty quick here, and then we can kick off that
yeah,
$100 pool. But things always start small, don't they? Isn't everything
yep,
small? The first time you pumped weights, there was the first time you did it, right? Look how big you are,
right.
man. Everything starts small, guys. Final words on vision. Why vision matters.
You know, uh, Not to get biblical or spiritual on you guys, but even the Bible says, without vision, the people perish. And so, for me, not having some vision or place to go, how can you ever get in life to where you want to go if you have no idea what that looks like or what it is that you want to go? And that's again what drives me. I mean, we have so many goals and things that we want to do, and when you look at those things, whether you're putting them up on the wall or for me, I mean, I got them on my cell phone. I listen to them. But having the vision of where you want to go is so vitally important. If you're just going through the day, mundane, task out of task, and not really thinking about what your goals are and your vision is, there's no way you'll get there. And I know we all know that. And so I think if we all take that spirit of, we're out and we want to help somebody, we see someone, whether it's the lady behind the bar that's struggling or, the person that's, this, I mean, talk to them about it, be that helping hand. There's somebody out there with their hand up right now saying, I need your help, but I just need to hear from you. And so the more people that we talk to, the more people that we ask about their goals and they're like-minded, they'll follow.
Fantastic.
Amen.
I'm one.
Scripture on me.
I'm wondering if there's a picture of you on the internet that it'd be easy to find with you in your cowboy uniform.
Unfortunately, that was a long time ago, and like YouTube didn't even exist, and a
Right,
few
right.
other things out there.
That,
But I'll have to
that,
upload one.
that was back then. What was your position on the team? What was your
I played safety, and so I was about
your safety?
218 at the time.
Uh-huh.
Playing safety, ran about a 4.39,
Wow.
somewhere around there. But I had a unfortunately back injury, and so I was just on the practice team. They wanted to send me to NFL Europe, so that's how long ago that was.
Oh, okay.
When they had NFL Europe, and so I chose not, not to take that route. I always said, God doesn't make mistakes; He has some other options for me, and so I'm here now with you guys.
Well,
So
I
excited to be here.
you may not be like the all-star of the Cowboy team, right? But you know how very few people that would just love just to play even one season on even the practice team of Cowboys, and like that is such there's people that's like their dream, and
Absolutely.
so there's very few people that even make that, and that talented people, but you did it. You got there, and I could tell you your grandmas, both of them, they instilled in you some determination, some drive, right? And your
Yes, sir.
spirit, it brought it out, the spirit that's in you already. They brought it forth, and you're an unstoppable force, right? So
I appreciate it.
we acknowledge you. Okay.
Thank
Well,
you, and I'm excited to be a part, guys, with all you guys, and so hopefully, I know I'm feeling the energy right now. I'm a big energy person from the whole group, just listening to the pre-show. So I'll be on here every night with you guys, and I mean, energy is infectious. Let's
it
just keep that
is.
momentum going. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're very much welcome, Kevin. Thank you
I
again. So
appreciate it.
that is our show to guys. That is our training today. I think we're all going to gain a lot from this particular training, because we have here a real life example. Wasn't born with a silver spoon. You don't have to have a silver spoon to make it big time in the world. 5,000 people using your software, 50,000 contractors on top of that. That's a huge success in business. So you had great success in school, in football, and in business, and your passions with the people. And I know Ashley, she's really looking out for the women. So she's got her eye on making sure the women are going to have it, made and do well there. And we're all for that too.
Yeah.
We support
Yeah,
that.
she's very passionate. She's built a huge following of women. Her passion in life is to be able to help transform women in their lives and all of that. So I'm sure you guys get a chance to hear from her, as well as a few other people in our group that all have some stories to bring and add, and we'll be adding those people hopefully on a daily basis.
Fantastic. All right,
Yep.
welcome to this team. We appreciate you being here.
Kevin, this is Kathleen. I
Yes.
just want to say welcome. I'm from the area
Thank
that
you.
you're talking about, Waco, Marlin.
Oh, okay. So you know where that
Yeah.
is then. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
Nice to meet you.
houses there.
and
Nice to meet you.
Cecil's in Fort Worth. Yeah, so yeah,
And I live in Dallas now, though.
you
So
got neighbors.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
All right. So,
awesome.
well,
Ashley's on here now if you want to bring her on.
come again. She's here.
Ashley?
Oh, Ashley.
Here.
Yeah. Before we wrap up the show, Ashley, a few words from Ashley. We've mentioned you several times, but go ahead and all she had to do is unmute and start talking, and we can hear from her. We'd love to hear from her.
Hi, I know Kevin had a lot to say, so I'm going to keep mine short and sweet, but I am grateful to be here, a part of this new team for us. We have, we see the vision, we love funding, especially I do, especially because I work with women who are looking to get access to money and they're looking for new ways to make money. And so we love bringing new resources for people that they can be a part of. And so my story, listen, I'll keep it short and sweet. I was single mother, you know the deal, broke, busted, no money. And whenever you start something and you're trying to figure out what you want to do in life, one thing that you do need is you need a coach. And so I'm thankful that during those times, me coming into business, I had a coach. Kevin was my coach, which has helped me tremendously with just evolving as a business owner and then kind of finding my place in the world. I always knew that there was something that I was supposed to do. I'm very faith-based. So listen, I'm just happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So welcome to the team.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah.
All right.
And I look forward to meeting everyone else too. So yeah.
We could definitely go on and on. We're all so excited. Anyway, so that wraps up today's training, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here live. Those of you that are here live, what a treat you had today. And then for those of you that are catching this on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe, and be sure to give us a positive comment. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time. Bye for now.
Good night.